Well, we know how much of an issue and a talking point sabotage at Eskom has been ever since that interview between Annika Larsen and the former CEO, Arno de Ruyter, of course, the former CEO of Eskom. It's been a big talking point over the past few weeks. Well, an Eskom executive is being accused of sabotage at some of the power stations. Let's bring in Calvin Rafadi, forensic investigator at Bizz Tracers, joining us this morning to talk about this, because we know that sabotage, the accusation, at least, Calvin, good morning, is not new, but now we're talking about executives being involved in this. What do you know? Good morning.
Good morning, Gareth, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, indeed. We've been saying all along that, people that break the power stations, they know it from the back of their head, and obviously employees are involved. So we are not shocked that there's an executive who's involved. And this particular person, we've been looking at his or her character as far as 3 years ago. And we are glad that even the Minister of Police, Mr. Bizz, has also confirmed that they are investigating some of these executive managers at Eskom. And indeed, they are involved in these shenanigans.
How do we know that? What's the indicator for someone like you that makes your ears perk up? What do you need to hear? What do you need to see to get your attention?
All right, let's do this, Gareth. At first, some of us were called armchair critics. I've been at Eskom, I've done the groundwork, I've been at numerous power stations doing some job scam investigation, sabotage investigation, even as far as Tutuka. Guess what? If you go to the power station, there are engineers that even knows the truth. Besides touching on issues of investigation, they know the truth. But issues of Eskom, there are also racial issues. Now, this particular individual who's been alleged to have committed this particular crimes, there is proof. There are WhatsApp messages that the police are in possession of. But here's something for them to take home. They need to now go and confiscate those particular cell phones and make sure that they are the real cell phones through the IMEs and the IMSIs that identifies those phones and take them for downloading. And they will, in fact, find those particular messages that were communicated with these particular rotten engineers and between the recipient and the receiver. And they will be having a strong case before the presidency will announce that they need to hire some retired judge or some SC to investigate this matter. So it's a straightforward criminal case that needs to be investigated.
So you're not suggesting, Calvin, this should be complicated at all. The evidence is there to take this story forward. Help me understand, though, why an executive of Eskom would be doing this. The only thing I can imagine is that it's a case of this executive then appointing engineers of their choice when units go down, and the profit from the money needed to fix that ends up in the pocket of the executive. Am I on the right track here?
Yes, you are on the right line. But here's the thing. At the power stations, we've got contractors that are handling issues of the turbine, your boilers, and other critical areas within the power stations. Then you get the security, which operates in guarding those particular power stations, which are national key points. There are CCTV cameras issues. But here's the thing. On every contract at Eskom, at the power station, being a contractor, you need to have someone with a CV and an experience of 10 years above to do the servicing and maintaining of those power stations. Now, here's the thing. They break deliberately some of these components, these particular engineers. But once they do that, now those parts, they need to be procured. Now, that's where you get now the influence and the likes of procurement and some of the executive interfering in those particular processes. So in essence, they break and then they create a particular job for themselves and then they get the money on the other side. So it has always been the case in Eskom in racketeering and sabotage there.
Calvin, can you tell me, if not necessarily the name, I'm not going to ask you to be in the same position as Eskom CEO or the former Eskom CEO, but can you tell me the position this person holds? Do we know that kind of information, or do we know what power station in particular has been badly affected by this allegation?
Look, I wouldn't say the name. I don't have enough money to go to court to be sued. But here's the thing, Gareth. This particular person sits at an executive, and it's a very bullying type of a character of a person who happens to have worked before bullying other employees, that he or she claims that she has worked at SIU. So it's a person who's been feared even in the corridors of Eskom, and who happens to make sure that that particular person knows the skeleton of every individual. And I'm not shocked why the board itself is so quiet about this, because you might find that they feel intimidated that this particular person knows the story and is connected with SIU. So what I'm saying is this particular individual even intimidates other employees about her or his role that he or she has played before in the SIU. And that's why this particular person is being feared. But we do get some anonymous tip-offs that who the person is. And hopefully they must give it to the police, and the police, they must act on this.
Well, I appreciate your time. Calvin Rafadi joining us this morning, forensic investigator from Bizz Tracers. You can hear how serious this is, how deep the rot runs. It seems to be from the head of an executive at Eskom linked to sabotage at various power stations, being quite careful not to give the name. In this case, it is still an accused, it is still an alleged, it is still an investigation. But I appreciate Calvin's time this morning.